Hey guys, this is Travis with Beyond Bipolar blog. I'm here with my brother today. I just want to congratulate myself because we finally hit 300 subscribers.
Thanks guys, thanks for joining.
I appreciate for everyone that has actually took a listen to my channel. I'm glad that I have some support because I have a lot of things to say. So I do hope that you can still watch my videos. Please like, comment, subscribe if you are new. And if not, feel free to just watch my other videos and tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Anyways, today's gonna be another topic. It seems to be that some of the things that trend on my channel largely is when I talk about medication. However, I want to talk about one medication that my brother is on, that I've tried, that we can both give experiences on, which is Trazodone. Trazodone is considered an antidepressant. I'm not sure if it's an SSRI, and Kyle could probably give me information on that. But I do know it helps people with sleep issues and could also help people with mood. So why don't we have Kyle give us some information about Trazodone?
Hey guys, this is Kyle, and I'm with Beyond Bipolar blog along with my brother Travis. So he wanted to talk about Trazodone. And Trazodone really has been a miracle drug for me. I believe I started having quite a bit of sleep issues probably since 2008, I believe. And the problem is I would wake up later, go to bed later, and wake up even later, which got really, really bad. I remember like maybe in 2015 and 16, I would actually end up not being able to sleep till 6 a.m. in the morning and then fucking wake up like till 5 p.m. And it was pretty bad. And although I'm a night owl, I don't like waking up that late. So anyway, my sleep schedule right now is typically I go to bed around 2 a.m., wake up around noon, sometimes earlier, sometimes at 11. But like I said, Trazodone is a miracle drug, and it's been prescribed to me, I believe, since I think 2000 at least, maybe 12 maybe, or 14 or something like that. And I've been on that. I only took it when I couldn't sleep, but my psychiatrist at the time, he was actually a nurse practitioner. He says I could take it every day. So now with sleep meds, yes, there is some addictive qualities. I think with any meds, there is a slight addictive quality. So I notice when I skip a dose, I believe I take I think it's 5 ml, I believe. I can't remember. But it's basically a half a pill, and it's 5 ml. And when I take it, I usually am able to sleep. Lately, for some reason, I haven't been able to sleep right away. And I don't know why. It could be because my devices are exhibiting bright lights, or maybe the weather changed. Sometimes the season does affect me, especially when it becomes hot to cold or cold to hot, like during the early spring or late fall or fall time. But anyway, Trazodone, like my brother said, is an antidepressant, surprisingly, but I actually primarily use it for sleep. So I guess I want to describe some of the effects when I take it. I notice when I don't take it, I'm not able to sleep. My sleep is really, really bad. I only get sleep like maybe a couple hours, and I wake up, sleep a little bit hours, and it kind of shows maybe I'm slightly addicted to it, because if I don't take it, I can't sleep, which in the end, I'd rather be a little addicted to something and require it in order to sleep and function, because otherwise, since 2014, since I did work a part-time job and eventually a full-time job, I really need sleep, and I really believe sleep is the #1 factor towards a person's mental well-being. And typically when someone's depressed or exhibiting even suicidal ideations, I really want to know more about the sleep, and I think the sleep primarily is very, very important to make sure that you're actually getting sleep. So that's the #1 thing. So anyway, Trazodone, like I said, has worked for me. And when I take it, typically when it does work for me, I usually feel ironically tired on it, but I actually kind of feel slightly maybe depressed on it, ironically, because I think when I take it, I think when someone sleeps, it's more about being able to relax yourself, lowering the moods, lowering your body and your energy levels. So when I take it, it does work. Sometimes when I need to wake up really early, I do take one. But like I said, it may be a miracle drug, but it doesn't always work. So I guess recommendations, there's sometimes, I'm not a doctor, but if it ever becomes a huge issue, I would recommend to some people that maybe it's best to wean off it a little bit and then go back up again, as some people suggest with some other meds. But anyway, I haven't done that, and I rather just take the 5 ml every time at night. And it's really important because sometimes when I don't take it, I notice I haven't been sleeping well and not as deeply, but it worked for me. And I have been diagnosed with anxiety and depression. And since it's a depressant, I feel like between like sertraline, which is another drug we'll talk about later, it's an antidepressant effector. Like antidepressants, it's a different drug even though it's an antidepressant, because with this drug you can actually tell that it actually like kind of depresses you and makes you want to sleep, versus sertraline, I don't know if I get really sleepy on that med. It's for the most part, I don't even know when I forget my med with my sertraline, unlike Trazodone, because I know I can't sleep. Another thing I wanted to mention, when I actually forget to take my antidepressant, I notice that my sleep isn't as good either, so I kind of require both. But I do think the Trazodone is actually more important for me in order for me to sleep and function. Now, I wanted to pass it off to my brother a little bit. I don't know if he has any other questions about Trazodone, but he actually was on Trazodone. Maybe he could describe his experience on it and his illness being diagnosed with bipolar, which is totally different for a person with depression like me.
When you first get diagnosed, can you start immediately on a target dose, or do you have to wean off?
When you start,
when you start.
When you start, you can just start right away, really. I only just started on I cut it in half, so the total one is 1 ml, so I just take half a pill every night, and it works for me.
How long does it take you to get to sleep?
Typically, it's been later. For some reason, sometimes it's been an hour for me. Typically, it usually would work right away, like in the next 15 minutes, but lately, for some reason, it hasn't been working as much to me. Now, I could probably talk to my doctor, but at the point, I'm not really in a specific need to wake up early. I can still sleep in if I really want to. So my sleep is still fairly all right. It differs between maybe an hour or so from wake up and sleep time.
Does it make you groggy the next day?
I would say yes, it does make you groggy slightly. I will actually mention that. But I will say I'd rather feel a little bit of grogginess in the morning and just have a cup of coffee than not being able to sleep at all and getting worse and worse. And I don't want to get stuck in that cycle, because I know sleep is very important to me. It's unfortunate that society doesn't think sleep is as important, but it really is important to function. And like I said, if you're having mental health issues, I would suggest speaking to your doctor about your sleep issues.
How much sleep should you get in order to be able to function the next day so you're not overtired?
So I know that it differs. Some people are okay even getting like 5 hours. With me, when I only get 6 hours, that's horrible. I did that when I was in school, and I just felt horrible the next day. Same with my brother. My brother actually needs like 12 hours, maybe it's 10 now.
10 to 12.
But, which is, I think is still 12 hours is a bit way too much anyway. But I do think 8 hours is probably, 7 to 8 hours, 7 to 9 hours is probably the main go-to. Sometimes I get 9, and I think today I got 8 and I'm fine. And I went to bed like 3, woke up at around 11:45, so, and I feel okay today. I don't feel depressed, I feel just all right.
So I guess I'll get to my story with Trazodone. So the first day I took it, it worked well, was able to sleep right away. The next day, not so well, I was up all night. And since I'm bipolar and it's an antidepressant, I think that affected my ability to sleep, since it probably did make me a little manic, and that affected me from sleeping. So I never actually went on it that long as my brother. I don't take it ever again, just because it just never worked for me. Now, my alternative, since I'm bipolar, the thing that actually helps me sleep the most is Lithium. It's an antipsychotic, and it's perfect or good for you, better for you, manageable for you if you have bipolar disorder or schizophrenia. However, it's noted that when it comes to medications like antipsychotics. I think they're overprescribed. It's great for people with bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, or schizoaffective disorder, but if you have depression, anxiety, I feel like there's too many side effects that you have to think about. Weight gain, somnolence, which is fatigue, and then another one which is very problematic is akathisia, which is inner restlessness. And sometimes these horrible side effects can really affect you and will require you to get off them or wean off them anyways. So if you're bipolar, great. Don't try trazodone, stick to an antipsychotic. Number one, if that doesn't work, I'd try maybe, if you're having anxiety from sleeping, another option is beta blocker called, I'm trying to think of the drug that actually works for you, and it's Desyrel. That is an anti-anxiety. It's not addictive like benzodiazepine, Ativan, Klonopin, and Xanax. Although I used to be able to take that Xanax and it helps me sleep, but I no longer need it since it's better to be off it anyway since it is addictive. And the Desyrel never really worked for me. So if you're looking for sleep, first try Desyrel. And the next step is another antidepressant that I'll probably talk later, which is Doxepin. It's an old drug, but it does cause weight gain. But for me, I used to take it for sleep, and it has worked well when I was on Lithium. But ever since I switched to Lamictal, it made me too depressed, so I no longer take that, and that's why I weaned off that, because I was trying to reduce as much medication that I really needed to be on as necessary as possible. So those are the options when it comes to bipolar disorder. But when it comes to anxiety and depression, Trazodone is probably a good way to go. I do know for a fact there's people that take Trazodone with bipolar disorder, but for me personally, it just never worked for me. It would cause me to stay awake and make things worse.
Could you explain why that happens with bipolar people?
So I believe since the antidepressants, when you're manic, you're already at a high energy active state, so that pushes you even higher. So I think that makes sleep even more problematic. So I think that's why people with bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, or schizoaffective disorder may not find the same results as those someone with anxiety, depression when it comes to Trazodone. So those are my thoughts on Trazodone. I don't know if Kyle has anything else he wants to talk about.
Yeah, so this kind of ties with our last video that we talked about, the reaction video with Dr. K. Did you turn that off? With Dr. K, who did that healthy gamer video work, and he was talking about sleep and the natural methods. Right now, we talked about what he feels like he missed out on was using actual chemicals, if you could call it, and we actually do support it. But Dr. K said it was pretty simple when it comes to fixing your sleep. Is you're just gotta force yourself to wake up. If you cannot control when you could actually go to sleep, you can actually control when you wake up. And now that's just really, it's a difficult method because sometimes you don't want to wake up when you're tired, and it really sucks throughout the day when you're tired and you can't really function, let alone that affects your mental health. But some of the natural methods, like I alluded, was avoid devices even during the day if possible. Right now we're in a technologically used society, and I really do think with the natural light it probably has affected people's ability to sleep, and the reason why sleep has become a lot worse as we became more modern. But anyway, avoid technology, turn off your phone, and just only read a book with a night light. And I know that's kind of the cliche, but that's what they kind of recommend. Sometimes what I like to do is turn on like peaceful music or peaceful sounds using the Amazon Alexa. And my brother, I believe he likes a journal, which helps him relax, but it really is important to avoid your devices. Sometimes it's really hard. I find myself not able to avoid the devices. When I'm like up still like an hour, I just look at my devices, I can't sleep, so I say, oh wow, it's probably not a healthy habit. But then I also wanted to mention about sleep and energy is also the light box, the UV light box. This is highly recommended for people with mental health issues, especially with seasonal affective disorder like depression. So in the past, my light box doesn't work now, but I would always use it when I wake up. And supposedly it could help boost up your energy levels, and it also can help you sleep. Since you wake up faster, you're able to go to sleep a little bit earlier too as well. But anyway, I think those are all the natural methods. To add on to Dr. K's, we end up talking more about the meds that are actually available, because I think for people with bipolar, just waking up, and maybe even people with depression like me, and people with insomnia, sometimes people need a little bit more. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about melatonin. Apparently, even though it's a natural drug, it can be overdosed. And like, I think my brother says that it causes grogginess too, even though for being a natural method. Is that correct?
I feel like it can get addictive, and then you'll never be able to get off it if you take it too much. So that's why I never take it, just because primarily, even though it's considered a supplement or over-the-counter medication, just for me, it's just not good enough, because I want something that I could take continuously and not have any adverse addictions to it.
So how people sleep is with melatonin. Apparently, when you go to sleep, your brain builds up melatonin, allowing you to sleep. So that's why people take the natural melatonin drug. I think with anything, sometimes it's best to have a balance. You don't want to do too much. They say just take it for a few days, and you're not supposed to stay on it forever. But anyway, was there any other sleeping tips that you could give aside from those natural methods that I gave?
People really commit to being addicted to drugs or alcohol if they can't sleep. Otherwise, if they're just trying to get their fix or their high. Just want to say I don't recommend this at all, because it can, if you are taking medications, it can really affect your mood. Not only that, if you just take those anyways, you can end up getting addicted, and that is a really bad habit, and you'll end up worse than what you were in the beginning. So I want to mention that yes, there might be marijuana that helps you relax or chill out or sleep, but with people with schizophrenia, it can induce psychosis. Maybe even with bipolar, it can induce psychosis. You know, alcohol might be able to depress you, but you can get up in these fits, and being drunk is just not always a good feeling the next day.
I wanted to mention with marijuana, like if you get it from the street, and doesn't matter what drug dealer or plug you get it from, you never know what it could be. It could always be laced, and if you can, I know medicinal marijuana is more available. If someone really needs that to sleep, I think that's more a preferred method, and hopefully you have insurance to cover that. But like my brother says, try to avoid the bad stuff if you can.
So anyways, I think that's it. Is there anything you want to add?
Right now, we're going to head to have a kimchi club party with our CAD friends. By the way, we're driving right now, and I don't know if Travis could point it towards this thing, but because we got hit last time, show the camera on this. We end up buying ourselves what do you call it?
Security camera?
Not a security camera, but a dash cam. Because someone freaking hit me again almost twice, and someone actually did hit me on that side over there, so hopefully we can actually track the person down. Apparently when my brother called maybe a few weeks ago, they said that as a no-fly zone, meaning because the guy hit us in front, we were supposed to pay for it, which sucks because he ran away as pretty much a hit and run. But anyway, we got that going. We apologize for kind of the late videos, but again, thanks for the 300 subscribers, guys. We hope you like our videos, and we plan on making more videos, and hopefully you can learn a lot.
All right, guys, take care. Have a good one. Bye.
Take care. Bye.